Hi, Sherpaherb here. Today I want to go over the 3 times you should walk during an ultra race. So it can be unnerving preparing for your first ultra. You know, the thought of running 6 to 12 hours straight is kind of hard to grasp. But don't worry, most of us take hiking and walking breaks during our ultra races. So let me go through the 3 times you should walk on an ultra. Number 1, the hills. Number 2, on the flats. And number 3, on the downhills. Whoa, what am I talking about? Walking the downhills? Well, I'll get to that. But first, let's talk about the uphills. So when you approach an uphill in an ultra, I'm sure you've heard about, run the flats, walk the hills. Well, that's a good motto to go by. So what I suggest is when you come to a hill that's higher than your line of sight, generally that's what we're talking about. So if you're just coming into some small rollers or a small gradual hill, go ahead and run that. But once it really starts going up, that's where you want to start transitioning into walking, or what we really should call is hiking. So the first thing you do when you come to a hill is you just shorten up your stride, keep those RPMs going until it doesn't feel comfortable anymore, and then that's the good time when to start to hike. So if it gets really steep, then that's where you might want to even bend over, put your hands on your thighs, and really power up. But most of the time what we're talking about are just those longer, steeper hills where it just conserves more energy, makes more sense to start hiking rather than running. So the second time that is a good time to walk during an ultra is on the flats. So the first opportunity is generally right after an aid station. So when you come into an aid station, get your water, you might grab some food. Instead of standing there eating the food, drinking water, grab what you need and just walk right out of the aid station. You want to get in and out of those aid stations as quickly as possible, and by walking out of the aid station, they'll get you out of there, and while you're walking, you can eat that peanut butter and jelly sandwich, chew on that orange, drink some more fluids, and then just make sure you pack away any of the trash that you've created doing that. The other thing that happens during an ultra, especially later on in the race, is you're going along on the flats and you're just getting tired and your form's starting to break. And I talk about in a different video, and I'll have that link down below on what to do when your form breaks. But that's a good time to just throw in a short walk. And there's a couple of ways of doing it. You can do it by time, where you walk 2 minutes, run 10 minutes, walk 2 minutes, run 10 minutes, or you can vary both of those numbers up and down a little bit. One thing that I've used in the past is I just look ahead to some sort of landscape feature like a tree, a stump, or something, and just say, well, I'm just going to walk to that and then I'll start running again. Probably one of the greatest skills in ultra running is when you're in that sort of situation, having the mental toughness to stop and walk and to start again. That getting that gumption to get going again after you've started walking for a bit sometimes can be pretty tough. But it's something to practice on your long runs, that walking on the flats can be a great recovery skill for you in the later parts of an ultra. So now the third part, running down hills. Why would you ever want to walk? Well, the most obvious one is if the hill is just so steep and so technical, it just isn't worth it trying to run down it. If it's a lot of scree, a lot of roots, or just plain steep, you just can't run down it anyway. However, the other thing that I did a lot when I first started running my ultras is I was bombing down the hills too fast, and I was lengthening out my stride, just screaming down the hills, and what would happen is I'd just burn my quads. And what happened next is when I got to the next downhill, there wasn't anything there, and I'd have to walk. So the other scenario is if you end up frying your quads, then you may be forced to actually walk down the hill. And again, this is something that you can do, walk for a while, then run a little bit, walk for a while, run a little bit to see if you can kind of work that stuff out. So that's it. There's no shame in walking or hiking during an ultra. It can be a great strategy for you to either finish your first race or even improve your time over a previous race. So give these steps a try and let me know down in the comments if these have worked for you or not, or if you got something else that I left out. So thanks, and please like and comment and share with your friends, and if you'd like to see more of these type of videos, please subscribe to my channel, Sherpaherb.com. Thanks.